Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dassi Insights. Today, we are going to talk about a topic that touches almost every human being at some point in life. What to do when you do not get what you truly deserved, when you feel disappointed, and when reality doesn't match your hard work, your effort, or your hopes. This experience is painful, not only for individuals, but also for communities and even entire societies. It leaves a deep emotional impact and it can make people question their value, their progress, and sometimes even their purpose. In today's episode, I want to explore this experience in a simple and honest way. I want to walk with you through the emotional side, the healing side, and the forward moving side. My goal is to help you understand that disappointment, although painful, doesn't have to be the end of your story. It can become a moment of transformation, clarity, and renewed strength. So, let's take a deep breath together and begin this journey. When people don't get what they deserve, the first reaction is usually disbelief. It feels unfair, it feels confusing, it feels heavy. You may start asking yourself questions like, why did this happen? What went wrong? What could I have done differently? These questions are natural because our minds want answers, especially when life feels unfair. But sometimes the truth is simple. You did everything right and the outcome was still not what you expected, and that can hurt deeply. Before anything else, the most important step is to acknowledge. Acknowledge the pain instead of running from it. Many people try to be strong by ignoring how they feel. They tell themselves to move on right away. But healing doesn't begin when you force yourself to move on. Healing begins when you allow yourself to feel what happened. When you recognize that your disappointment is valid. When you give yourself permission to say, this mattered to me, this hurt me, this was important. That kind of honesty is not weakness. It's the beginning of emotional strength. Once you acknowledge the pain, the next step is to understand what exactly you lost. Disappointment is often more than just losing an opportunity. Sometimes it's the loss of fairness, the loss of recognition, the loss of trust, or the loss of hope you built around a future that didn't happen. When you name the loss clearly, it becomes easier to progress. For example, a person might feel disappointed not only because they were not chosen for something, but because they believe their hard work finally meant something. When the outcome doesn't match their belief, the loss becomes emotional, not just practical. Understanding this difference helps you grieve more clearly and more honestly. Grieving in this situation is very important. Many people think grief only belongs to the loss of a person, but grief also happens when dreams are lost, when fairness fails, and when expectations break. Grief means giving yourself time to sit with the uncomfortable feelings. It means accepting that a part of your hope was damaged. It means letting yourself to be sad without judging yourself. Grief doesn't mean you are stuck. It means you are taking your emotional truth seriously. It's the bridge between what happened and what you will become. As you move through grief, another important step is to search for meaning rather than blame. Blame is easy and it feels good for a moment, but it doesn't help you grow. Meaning, on the other hand, turns disappointed into wisdom. When you look for meaning, you begin asking questions that help you rise instead of questions that keep you stuck. You begin thinking about what the experience taught you about yourself, about your inner strength, about your values, or about the environment around you. Searching for meaning doesn't deny the pain, but transforms it. This is also true for society. When a whole community don't get what they deserve, whether it is fairness, opportunity, or recognition, they also need time to grieve. And they also must move from blame to meaning. A society grows stronger when it reflects, when it learns, and when it chooses to build a better future instead of drowning in frustration. Progress doesn't happen in one moment. It happens when people turn disappointment into collective wisdom and collective action. During this process, reconnecting with your values is extremely helpful. Values are like a compass. They guide you even when the road is difficult. When disappointments shakes your confidence, your values help you remember who you are and what you stand for. Ask yourself what kind of person you want to be, what principles matters to you, and what purpose drives your decisions. When you reconnect with your values, you no longer measure your worth by one outcome or one moment. You begin to see your life as a journey, not a single event. After reconnecting with your values, it becomes easier to take the next step forward. Moving forward does not have to be dramatic. Growth often begins with something small. Sometimes the smallest change, like trying again, setting a new goal, or simply choosing not to give up, is exactly the step you need. People often underestimate how powerful a small, positive step can be. When you move even a little bit forward, you build momentum, and momentum creates confidence. A very important truth to remember is that fairness in life isn't always guaranteed. Not every person receives what they deserve. Not every effort gets rewarded. Not every situation is just. This is one of the hardest truths to accept. But here is another truth that is just as important. Growth is always possible. Reinvention is always possible. A stronger future is always possible. You may not have received what you deserve today, but your value, your worth, and your potential are still alive. One unfair moment can't erase everything you have built. As you continue healing, the final step is turn the experience into a strength. This does not happen all at once. It happens quietly, gradually, as you reflect, grow, and move forward. When you transform disappointment into wisdom, something powerful happens. You become more resilient. You become more confident. You become more compassionate. You learn what matters and what does not. You build a deeper understanding of yourself. And this understanding becomes the foundation for a stronger future. In the end, remember this: not getting what you deserve doesn't define you. It does not diminish your value. It doesn't reduce your potential. It's a painful chapter, but isn't the whole story. You are allowed to grieve. You are allowed to learn. And you are allowed to rise again with more clarity, more strength, and more purpose. Please keep in mind, this content is for general motivation only and is not professional advice. Thank you for watching Dassi Insights today. I hope this message brought you comfort, motivation, and sense of direction. If you found value in this episode, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need it. And feel free to tell me in comments what topic you would like me to talk about next. Until then, take care, stay strong, and keep moving forward.